Welcome to the Imagine AI podcast. I have with us a super special guest, Yung Spielburg. Yung, how are you doing?
Doing great. Excited to be here, running it back for the second year.
Yeah, you have created the Imagine AI Live theme song, and a lot of our audios here. You are an audio genius. You've created many podcast theme songs, including the All In podcast, and that's how I first got to know you, because we're both super fans of the pod, and we're very fundamental in their growth in the early days. And I'm curious. I want to start there because you continue to work with them. At the, what was it, in San Francisco, you were working with an orchestra for one of their events?
Oh yeah, we had a 12-piece band, and they asked me to rearrange the theme song for the band.
Wow. So 12-piece band, and
Yeah.
Did you do your famous All-In song, the
Yeah.
orchestra version?
Yeah, so that one I rearranged for the full 12-piece band, and I don't know if you even knew this or not, but kind of leading the witness for an AI conference. So they also wanted me to do a bunch of other cues, and I didn't have a bunch of like big band cues sitting around. I normally work with, pop artists, whether that's like rock, pop, whatever, alternative, any of the above, not usually big band. Mm-hmm. And it was a very, very tight turnaround when we decided to do this. And so I actually used a tool to compose a bunch of big band songs, like spots, chose the ones I liked, hired a chart guy I have to chart everything out and arrange it.
Write the music, the notes?
Yeah, basically write at the notation, because you still have to show up and give a sheet to the trombone player, to the sax player, and then you still have to be able to direct the band. So there was definitely a human in the loop, but that was a very, very good use of an AI tool that just saved me a lot of time.
And a quick turnaround, yeah. So that was for the Christmas Spectacular.
Yes.
Yeah, and where were you when the band did it live at the event?
Yeah, it was, where was the event at? It was at where the World's Fair was. I mean, it was like a huge, awesome venue in San Francisco.
The venue's beautiful. I forget the name of it, but like, where were you physically when it?
Oh, I was side stage.
Nice.
But I came in earlier that day, and we only had a few hours. Not even that. We probably only had an hour, but these guys are all pros. So you put the sheet music in front of them, it's 6 cues, we run them, make a few changes, and then I'm side stage, with the headphone, kind of talking to the band leader, telling them what to do.
So when a podcast approaches you to write a theme song for them, what's your process there for creating something catchy and memorable?
I think there are 2 ways to approach it. You either have a podcast that wants their name in the theme. So All In is a perfect example. And then my job is, what is the absolute catchiest way to sing this group of words? That's my job, and then of course have the tone of that match the tone of the podcast. But what you're really trying to do is make sure that the name of the show gets represented in a feeling of the music. The melody and the words have to connect in this perfect way. That goes for all music. So podcast themes was something I fell into. I wrote 3,000 songs over the last 15 years.
Wow.
Have nothing to do with podcasts.
Yeah. Emmy award-winning Yung Spielburg, by
Grammy.
the way. Grammy.
And so I'm just applying that. This is a framework I've always used for lyric and melody marriage. And I've always said, the best songs that you know and love, they found the best melody to fit those words. And I always say, like, unless you're going to beat that melody, there's some phrases, hello from the other side, unless you're going to beat Adele's melody, you better sit that one out.
Hello from the other side.
That's right.
Yeah, you say it and it just pops in your head. So
that's one way. The other way is something like Acquired. So when Acquired approached me to do their theme, I actually wrote a theme song singing Acquired. And they listened to it and they were like, actually, we don't want this. What we want is a song that represents what our show is about, but doesn't mention our show. And we just want it to feel like it just so happens there's this amazing song that was in the ether that represents everything our show is about.
Oh, wow.
And then we get to use that. And so after speaking with them and doing a bunch of creative work, I came up with Who Got the Truth, because I boiled down to their show was really about getting to the truth.
Yeah.
So I wrote that lyric, then I went out and got Mike Taylor, who's an incredible artist I know from Philadelphia, billions of streams, incredible soul artist. And I said, hey, do you want to work on this project together? You know, this is what I'm doing. This is what the budget is. Always important when you're bringing talent in, and then we did it.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, you've worked with some of the biggest podcasts in tech and startups, All In, Acquired, BG2 Pod. I love that hook that you put in there. And Imagine AI Live, and any others that I'm missing right now?
I did A16Z.
A16Z.
I did Packy McCormick.
Oh, wow.
I did the Venture Coinist, which is kind of like a huge crypto one. He was very early. You know, when he reached out to me, it was like the first one after All In. So
the last time we talked, you were working with Music and Water. Is that
Water and Music?
Water and Music.
Yeah.
How is that venture going?
Yeah, really good. Music and Tech Research Organization, run by Sherry Hu, and I specialize in AI tools there, which is how I ended up at this conference. Of course, getting looped in here. And yeah, we do consulting work for some of the biggest world, agencies in the world, like PRS, which is the collection agency for the entirety of the UK of royalties.
Collection agency?
Yeah, they're a performing rights organization.
Okay.
So when a song is performed, broadcast, there's all kinds of revenue streams in music, but certain kind of revenue streams with a certain kind of royalty for writers. They collect the money, and then they distribute it to writers.
Oh, wow. Very important stuff.
Super important.
And tell us about other projects you've got going. Like a lot of people here, a lot of people have several stoves going with things they're cooking.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, too, because for 15 years, all I did was write songs. Every day I had one thing, wake up and write a really important song. And I kind of miss that. And I'm hoping that one of these things actually kind of raises its hand again, and I can just go, that's the only thing I'm going to do. But it has been nice to kind of take the blinders off. And that's kind of the process I've been in. But I'm building my own software. I formed a software company, got some guys from Stability, got some amazing growth guys who invented SongLink that got acquired by Linktree. Yeah.
Wow.
And we've been building a music software. It'll be November, 2 years in November. It'll come out in a few months.
So it hasn't even been released yet?
No, but we have beta users, like some of the biggest producers on the planet.
The name for it?
Yeah, it's called I Am Choir.
I Am Choir.
And it lets you turn your voice into the sound of a choir. And we've partnered with a gospel choir, a children's choir. I brought in a bunch of metal guys to do a bunch of like heavy, like all male, like screaming.
Wow.
We have a cheerleader model, all these things.
And so it's a bit like cloning your AI voice, but then turning it into song.
Not a song. So you have a song.
Yeah.
And what you want is like, wouldn't it be sick if a bunch of cheerleaders came in the bridge and went, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. You can actually find that now. But something more intricate, matching your melody. And now you can maintain your melody and your lyrics, but have a 60-person gospel choir sing it.
Wow.
Or have a children's choir sing it. Like, do you know DANCE by Justice?
Yeah.
Do the D. So every producer my age remembers hearing that song and going, damn, I want to write a hook with a children's choir. Good luck. Like, I've worked with them twice in my career. I was with Kelly Clarkson. There's labor laws. You got to have room for the parents. If it's during a school day, like a teacher has to come. It's a whole thing, It's a whole thing. And so now you can get 80% of the way there with a plugin that works in Logic, Ableton, Pro Tools, whatever. Pick your DAW.
Wow. So kind of, what is the future of music and AI, if you had to answer that question?
What will not change is that if you are somebody with a message and a purpose to what you want to put in the world, and people care that it's you delivering that message, you're going to be fine. And I don't know if I said this last year, but I can't take credit for this. Matt Dryhurst, who's like one of the people at the forefront of AI in music, based out of Berlin, married to Holly Herndon, who was like the first person to do timbre transfer, and also one of the first people to have this kind of like community, was able to upload audio and then get back her singing it. Recorded music is an anomaly. It's only been around for a little over 100 years. So who's to say we know how that's supposed to fit into society, if it's supposed to be monetized forever, if it's going to be a valuable asset in that way. But what has been around forever is getting in a room and singing and dancing with other people. And so it's a little scary for me because my whole career has been built on building these digital assets. Or, these audio assets. They were, originally on vinyl, and now, these encoded MP3s. But I don't know what's going to happen with recorded music. But I know that live music and people getting together is not going to go anywhere. Yeah.
Thanks for that answer. With social media, I saw a story about a band that their niche is they'll go to frat houses or sorority houses and just do a live band performance and like crash the party. They're like party crashers, and they do a live performance. And now they've gotten so big on Instagram that frat houses around the country are trying to hire them to play their event. And they're middle-aged guys, but they're rocking out and making money now. Can you talk to the importance of social media in this age for music creators?
Yeah, everybody who's selling anything, whether it's music, a plugin, a show, you are entering the attention economy, and you got to figure out how to make people care about, like notice that you're doing anything, and then care about what you're doing. Hopefully the product that you have can speak for itself, but I do think that being able to play that game, so to speak, and be good at it, find joy in it, is a prerequisite to success now for any musical artist. It's hard to find a musical artist now that is having great success that doesn't know how to play this game.
What have been some of your maybe people you've worked with, or just people you've noticed that have used social media, musicians that have used social media very well recently?
Someone who comes to mind is La Russell, and I actually haven't worked with La Russell, but and Toby Wigway, and these happen to be two guys who did everything independent, and they really had a unique movement. They were the perfect example of a message people cared about that was unique, and then people also cared that it was them. They were the right vessel. And then they just had brilliant social media. Totally different. One of them was really curated. Toby Wigway had the same border, the same font, same format, all his videos, the same color. Kind of a master class. And it worked. It really worked. La Russell was just relentlessly posting content, making mixtapes, and it was much less. But it was much less refined. It didn't have that feeling of like, this is a crafted brand, but actually over time, he was the brand. And his message and the way he presented himself, and actually this kind of backyard style, this backyard DIY style became a part of the brand. And they were just, both. These are two artists people should really check out.
Very interesting.
Yeah, just brilliant.
And so, you yourself, where are you based these days?
I'm based in LA, but I'm back and forth to New York more and more. My family's all in New York. I'm sure you can hear it in the accent.
Yeah.
But LA, between LA and New York.
And it seems that you're busy with events. And how do you manage the time? What's a day in the life of Yung Spielburg?
Changes every day, but you got to wake up and make an effort to set aside the time to do what's really important. There's that Eisenhower matrix: what's urgent, what's important, what can I delegate, and I try to figure out every night before I wake up the next day, how I'm going to
do you delegate? Do you have a team that you work with now? Any virtual assistants?
No virtual assistants, but yeah, I have a team. So my plugin team, I have a growth person there who's also like my consigliere. He's a partner in the business. And I have a junior engineer who actually really is like the lead engineer now, and then our senior guy's more like an advisor. And
so are you like
we
a
have another
founder
intern.
CEO now,
Yeah,
Yung?
yeah, oh
That's
yeah,
great.
No, trust me, I've invested the money.
Yeah.
And running this company. And then on the music side, that I make music, of course, I have a team. I have programmers, interns, engineers. So a couple teams for the different ventures that I have going.
Amazing. And so when can we expect to see your products live out there?
Yeah, live in a few months, collecting the wait list very, very, very soon. And right now it's in private beta, but if people want to get in touch with me on Instagram or Twitter and are interested in trying the tool, we're not shy about it. So just Yung Spielburg, Yung_Spielburg.
Awesome. One last question. I just want to make sure to hit AI tools that make music for you.
Yeah.
Suno AI is a big one. I mean, has that changed? Is there a new entrance in the field?
Great question. There's different things. So there's text to audio models like Suno. I always caveat by saying Suno is the best composer in my opinion, and Udio, but they've trained on the most valuable copyrights in the world, in my opinion, illegally. But there's a lot of pressure in our field, and so a lot of people use them, and I have definitely used them. So they're amazing. But then you have things like Beatoven.ai that's probably a little more geared towards content creators, and they're totally buttoned up. And you can be sure that no one is ever going to come looking for that audio signature and pulling your video down. And so I think there is a competitive advantage, possibly, for the companies that are doing this completely buttoned up. You have companies like AudioShake and Music AI that have stem separators that are really, really helpful, useful tools. You can give it a full audio file, and it can extract the individual parts for you to work with, which is amazing. And then there are attribution companies like Musical AI and Surreal AI, which if you have a training set and you're creating a text-to-audio model like Beatoven.ai, which partnered with Musical AI, they can print out a royalty sheet for every generation and say, these pieces of training data were used to create this thing. And now you can have royalties and remuneration back to artists that are in the training data. Anyway, yeah, there's so many different kinds of tools for use cases that, music tools that are out there.
A final question, a young musician getting into the game today in this new landscape, there's a way to leapfrog a lot of people, other musicians potentially. What advice would you have for them getting started?
Have fun.
Gotta enjoy it.
And circle people up. Again, when I speak at Drexel, my alma mater in colleges, people say, what's your advice? I say, throw parties. If you can put people in a room, look at what you did here, Chris. If you can put people in a room, you will always have some type of business. And you'll always be able to bring creatives together. Whether you're on the bill or you're curating the bill or whatever it is, that skill is so valuable. And then I would say, to play the social media game for sure. I mean, there's young garage bands, kids who are 12, 13 going so viral. I can't remember the name of the band, but they have a cover of Fiend by Travis Scott. Fiend, and it's gone and I watch it and I can feel what it was like to be 13 and think you were making the most important music in the world and building this thing. And these kids are blowing up. So my 13-year-old band never blew up. So I can only imagine what that was like.
Well, with the tools today, if you think of the right angle and are persistent, and you can blow up as a 13-year-old with social media and a good song, good hook, and good cover.
Learn an instrument.
Learn to read music.
Yeah, maybe, but there's so much deeper value. I'll tell you, So I've never been a really great player. I'm a good writer and then a good producer. I get the parts and I know how to put everything together. And I can play instruments, but I say I use them. I don't play them. Or I use them and they don't like it, you know? But the guy with the acoustic guitar always gets made fun of at the party at the wrong time. But the guy who picks up the acoustic guitar at the right time at the party is a hero. And it's really like a transcendent experience after dinner, or at the campfire, the cliche, everyone singing together. You know, this is magic. And if you can be at the center of that, because that's something you've developed, I highly encourage.
Yeah, you just gave me goosebumps there. And like bringing it back to the attention economy, if you're able with your instrument to have everyone in the room's attention on you, that's extremely powerful.
Yeah. This is another Matt Dryhurst. People always come to wonder at another human doing something amazing. That's why so many virtuosos have blown up on TikTok and are finding audiences, and they'll have to figure out how to translate that into other areas. But
yeah, I think there's probably a whole masterclass on building that audience and then keeping it engaged, and how do you, I don't know what's the right word to, deal with an audience and gain that. I mean, you've gained that trust. They're following you. So how do you then take that further and like keep them around?
Yeah, you need a good team. Let me plug an artist I work with.
Please.
Andy Arthur Smith. You can find him on TikTok. The guy's got like 4.5 million followers.
Wow.
He has more musicality in his pinky than I have my whole body. Working with, and I produced the last EP he just put out. It was his first original music he ever released properly.
Wow.
But he already had millions of followers on TikTok. He had worked with JBL and Coke, and he has this special thing. But what's next? Putting a band together, and he's done it, by the way. An incredible band, guys who play in Scary Pockets and everything. So making that music, putting the band together, doing that first show, recording live versions of the songs. You need a team, and he had a day job, and he quit his day job in the process of us making this EP.
Wow.
And there's a song called Boomerang, and that's what it's about. But it took a village to get him to, even with all the success he was having, it's a big step, but we were like, dude, quit your job. You have the team, we believe in you, we've done this before. And the world is telling you have a gift, that they're interested in, you bring joy to their lives. And so, taking that next step sometimes, can take a village.
Well, Yung Spielburg, thank you so much for sitting down with me again. It's been a fascinating conversation. I'm so happy to have you in my life personally, and then for you to be a part of the Imagine AI Live conference. It really means a lot, so thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be here.
That's one small step for man.